The second week of Kerry Mental Health and Wellbeing Fest online chair yoga session. This is part of the larger Mindful Moments and chair yoga series that's taking until the 18th of December. In the mornings, we have Mindful Moments with Susan Barrett and Claudia McCarthy. They're live at 11 o'clock, and the 2 o'clock chair yoga sessions are led by May 1st, Flow Yoga Therapy. If you want to watch them back in your own time, or if you can't join us live, there's the option to view them on the Healthy Kerry website. And we also are streaming them live to Facebook, that you can watch them then in your own time as well. So these are all recorded so that you can watch them back in your own time. And for the yoga sessions with Maeve, her screen is the one that's on view all for the recording. If you want to make a question or if you have a comment to make, you can do that on the right hand side of your panel if you're in the webinar. And if you're watching us live on Facebook, you can post your comments and questions underneath the video, this particular video. And today, Maeve, you're going to introduce your session for today, focusing on feet, and then you can explain some of the series that you're going to be doing with us over the next couple of days. Thanks, Maeve.
Thanks so much, Deirdre. Welcome, everyone. I hope you had a lovely weekend. It's Monday. It's dry, where I am anyway. Hopefully it is where you are. And it's a lovely, crisp, kind of real typical winter day. I'm looking at the windows. I talked to you, and all the leaves are gone from the trees, and they've kind of got that bare look about them. But that's part of the cycle, isn't it? So today, I wanted to jump back briefly to what we did last week. We were working through different parts of the body last week. We did our back, so we looked at the spine, we looked at hips, we looked at shoulders, hands, wrists. What we didn't do was the feet, because I wanted to do a little bit of yoga for sleep kind of techniques last week, our poses and stretches for that. And now we're going to jump back to the feet. However, then we sort of finish off with the physical focus, and I was thinking about what we might do together for the next 2 weeks. So this week we're going to focus on a few different systems in the body. So for tomorrow, we're going to focus on the circulatory system. So the circulatory system is blood flow, it's moving energy. It's a really interesting system to look at. So we're going to have a little mini sequence on that. Then Wednesday is all about our digestive system. So we'll focus on that. Don't eat your lunch before it, okay? Go light and save some of the nibbles for afterwards. The immune system and lymphatic drainage system on Thursday. And then Friday, respiration or respiratory system. And then the following week, I'm going to teach you what's called ladder sequencing. And ladder sequencing is where we do a few poses together, and then the following day, we're going to add a few more onto them. So it builds up and builds up and builds up. So ideally, you'll do them in order and come to each one of them, because you're going to miss out. And I'm always referencing things that happened yesterday or earlier on in the week. So try to come to all of them in order, or even watch them back in order. And by the end of that ladder sequencing week next week, hopefully you'll know a little mini chair sequence that you can do with your eyes closed, that you'll know really well because you've done it every day with me for 5 days. Okay, I can't waffle for too much longer because they're so short. So we're going to get going. Today you're going to need a tennis ball. So if you don't have a tennis ball, grab a kind of a thick woolly pair of socks. You could use your water bottle. That'll do fine too. So anything that you can roll your foot on, and we're going to come to that towards the end. So pop that to the side or run and grab it, and don't ignore it. Don't be like, I can't be bothered getting up. If you have the ability to get up, use your legs and go and find whatever item that you've got. I'm quite far back from the camera today because I want you to see my feet. I'm going to take off my big woolly socks as well. Excuse the get up today. I'm properly like baggy tracksuit. I was in the water this morning. It was very cold. And we went for a surf. So I came home. I had the longest shower, and I'm in tracksuit since then. Okay, we're going to start with our feet on the floor. I can reach today, so I'm going to leave my block. Plant your feet down. Have a look at your toes. Oh, take your shoes off, will you? Go on, take your shoes off today, so that you can actually move your toes. And even better, if you're not in a freezing cold office or home and your floors are all right, can you take your socks off as well? Because I'm going to need you to see your toes and move them. Don't be afraid of your toes. Everyone's got them. Okay. Sit tall. Silver string through the crown of your head, lift too tall, shoulders roll down. Place your left hand over your heart, your right hand on your belly. Close those eyes, press your feet gently into the ground, and take your attention into your feet for a moment. Breathe in with me. and sigh it out. This right hand that's on your belly, breathe into it. Tap the air up into your left hand on your chest. Exhale, feel both hands soften towards your body. Inhale, letting go. Deep breath in. Sigh out your Monday. We'll do 2 more of those into the belly, the chest, and out. Last one. You can keep your hands here, rest them on your lap, and go back to thinking about your feet. Feel them. Press down gently through all 10 toes, through the arch of the foot, the outer edge of the foot, the heel. And I want you to imagine there's a kind of a spot in the middle of your foot under the ball of it. So where your toes join your foot itself, it's kind of known as the ball of the foot. Come back underneath there. And that little point, ideally, or kind of most specifically rather, is between your big toe and your second toe. And then you're going to press, oh, sorry, let me rephrase that. What am I saying? It's between your second and your third toe. So between the second and third toe on the sole of the foot, imagine you can feel that point, very specific. And that there's roots of a tree growing down into the ground from there. You're sending all the energy you don't need into the ground, into the earth. So today is about grounding, about feeling calm in ourselves, steady, about letting things pass us by without shaking us. And we'll begin, as always, with the head roll, so chin to chest. Turn your head to your left, roll your ear to your shoulder, raise your chin around the back, ear to shoulder. Turn your head, chin to chest. We're going to just do one in the opposite direction, chin to chest. Please look to your right. Right ear to the shoulder. Raise your chin, ear to shoulder. Little turn of your head and chin back to chest. And you can gently blink your eyes open, bring your head back to center. Okay, give your wrists move, wiggle your fingers. Have a little stretch out if you want to. Nothing too specific, as we're going to give all our attention to our feet today. If you feel like you need to stretch it out, stretch it across. Okay, bring your awareness all the way down onto your feet now, and hopefully you can see them. So if you can't, you're going to maybe need to walk them out a little bit in front of you. Lift up your toes off the floor so you press your heels gently down. And can you wave your feet from side to side at me? So over and back. Sit tall in your chair here. We spoke about this last week. Use your spine, sitting upright. Side to side. And then you can place your right foot down, lift your left foot, and point your toes towards me. So curl your toes into a little ball and then stretch the toes wide. Toes into a ball, stretch them wide. Do a few more of those. You can do it with your hands too if you want to. Good. And then pull your toes back towards your face and then point the toe away and toes towards your face and toe away. So when you bring your toes up towards you, that is called a dorsiflexion. Flexion means bend. And then plantar flexion is when you point. So I always think of P for plantar and P for point. Dorsey to you, plantar away. Good. And then you can bring your foot back on the floor. Shimmy towards the edge of your seat, please. That's it. And kind of keep your knee reasonably steady. But can you open up the sole of your foot? So you sort of like if you were looking to see if there's something on the sole of your foot, you might have stood in chewing gum, we'll say. You're going to have a little look at the sole of your foot. And then roll it back and do the same on the other side. You're going to lift the outer edge of the foot and have a look down at it. That's it. And then you can come back. Now you can do it without looking. That just gives you kind of a little metaphor to use, or a little lift at the other side. Over and back. So these are normal movements of our feet. We have 26 bones in each foot. Quite a lot in there, right? An awful lot going on. We use our big toes for balance. And come back, speaking of which, press your toes on this left foot into the ground. And can you lift just your big toe? This is going to frustrate you. You can have a look at it as well, it helps. So you're going to have a look at your big toe and lift it up. And then bring the big toe down. And can you lift just your second toe? Oh, very difficult. Can you lift just the second toe off the floor? And then try the third and the fourth and the baby. And even if all four of them are up and the big toe is down, that's fine. Lift the big toe so all of your toes are lifting. Then place your baby toe down, your second toe, your third toe, your fourth toe, your big toe. And then you can give them a little piano play on the ground. Perfect. Can you please lift your left leg and you can wrap your hands around it and you can let your foot dangle. You're going to make some big circles with this leg all the way around. Oh, snaps and crackles. I don't know if you heard my ankle. Those snaps and crackles are air releasing from your joints. Go the other way, all the way around. Now you can please cross your ankle over your knee and take your free hand. So in this case, it's your right hand, and you can interlace and hold hands with your toes. So push your fingers in between your toes. Don't be afraid of them. And then you can wiggle your foot forwards and back and big old circles. So I'm rotating my ankle here. I'm also spreading my toes wide. We often wear cramped shoes or tight shoes, and our toes don't get time to breathe and to spread apart. And then rotate your ankle the opposite direction. You can close your eyes while you do this if you like. Focus on your breath, movement, and see how that feels. Okay, then same foot, how are we doing for time? Turn the sole of the foot up. So you're looking at the sole of your foot. If you can't quite do this, you could leave the foot on the floor and lean over to touch it. I don't mind whichever way you do it. Now remember that point I messed up earlier and corrected myself, and I said between the second and third toe. Excuse me, I'm going to stick my foot in your face, under the ball of the foot. So second and third toe, under the ball of the foot. Take a thumb and you're going to gently press into that area, and the flesh of the foot there is soft but firm. And you give that a little rub and close your eyes. I'm just moving my thumb in circles, small circles, or you can hold and press. And that point in your foot is an energy point. It's called kidney point 1. And kidney point 1 is very good for grounding us, for calming us down. If you can't sleep at night time, take a little bit of lavender oil mixed with the base oil and rub it into the sole of your foot like this. There you go. And you can pop that little guy back on the ground. To the other one now. So please lift your toes off the ground and wave at me side to side. Maybe some circles would be good. And then the other way. And then you can lift and hold your foot, or if you're able to hold it without hanging on to the leg, you can point and flex and point and flex. Remember, plantar away, dorsey to you, plantar to dorsey. Give big old circles. Get rid of the snaps and the crackles. Cross your foot over. Doing great. And interlace your fingers. Get your fingers in between your toes. And let your foot go limp. So if you're kind of engaging and squeezing, it's not going to work. It won't let you otherwise. You let yourself turn your ankle in big circles. It's a little bit of self-care, isn't it, too, to look after your feet. So people go for pedicures and they pay a lot of money for pedicures to get their feet taken care of. It's an area of the body I see hugely neglected in yoga classes. A lot of people hate their feet. Think they're not there to look pretty. They're there to be functional and healthy. So we can't really get around without them for the most part. We're looking after them and giving them a little bit of care, checking them out and see how they're doing. And then you can move your foot forwards and back. Go ahead and get your thumb into the second and third toe underneath the ball of the foot and press. See, this is so quick and so easy to do. Close your eyes here and imagine you breathing into your belly and your chest. Great point, just relax. Probably feel just a little bit more relaxation coming into your body now. And then you can release your foot onto the floor. I forgot to do the rocking foot inside and outside. So go ahead and look at the sole of your foot. So peel your foot up and away. And then the other way, the outside. Do it inside, outside. Awesome. And the last one. So walk your feet underneath you. Lift your heels off the floor. So you can do it, lift up onto the tippy top toes. Place the heels down and then please lift the toes off the ground. So up and down. My right ankle cracks a lot. I fell off a pony when I was 12 and sprained it. It was never quite the same again. Last bit. That tennis ball I asked you to get at the start of class. Now, if you don't have a tennis ball, a couple of pairs of rolled up socks balled into one would do, or your water bottle, as long as it's not glass, of course. And then you're going to place it under the sole of your foot. You can do this sitting. You're going to put some pressure down and just basically roll the ball around underneath the sole of your foot. You will actually get a lot more from it standing if you're comfortable doing that, because you can put a lot more pressure down and you'll find tender bits in your foot. You'll find bits that it feels really nice to do that. Trying to even spend some time on the heel and rolling it around. If you're on lino, the ball might be scooting off and away from you like that. But you can also put the ball on a blanket or a mat and then roll it around. So standing or sitting, rolling the ball around. Of course, if you don't really have the power in your foot to do that by yourself, you can also prop your foot up on something and use your hands to push the ball into your foot. It does get a bit more of a result when you're doing it yourself rather than holding it, because you can add your body weight to it. If you ever have any issues with plantar fasciitis, so the fascia is almost like the web of the body. It holds things together is one way of explaining it. And the fascia is becoming more and more important. It's a real buzzword these days in yoga land and yoga world. But the plantar fasciitis is when you get very sore underneath the soles of your feet. And this would be one of the exercises that a physio or a GP would give you to help plantar fasciitis. Rolling the tennis ball or golf ball under your foot. Switch the ball over and get stuck into the other one. And you'll notice that that foot you've just done feels different, right? Maybe a little tingling or feels kind of relaxed. Be quiet for the next moment or two while you do this. If you don't have anything to roll under your foot, you can also massage your foot with your hand and give yourself a little foot rub. All the while breathing as you roll. So you're sort of paying attention to what you're doing. Find a sticky spot, you might want to stay on it for a second or so. Allowing the tension to melt away. Drop your ball to the side. Bring that foot onto the floor. Close your eyes. Feel your feet from the inside out again. Maybe they feel a little bit different now. Check back in with yourself. How's your head, your heart, your body doing? Take a deep breath, sit tall. Open your mouth wide with me, really wide jaw, and sigh. Inhale. Open mouth, big wide breath out. We'll finish here. Great. Hands come to heart center, and then slide your thumbs to the middle of your forehead. Bow down to yourself today, showing gratitude for your energy, your practice, and your amazing feet. Bow to your yogi neighbors, somewhere out there in the ether practicing with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a very lovely Monday. See you during the week. Bye for now. Claire, thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your little mini yoga sequence for your feet today. So get up and move them in all different directions, come up and come down off them. And then at the end of your day, take your shoes off and roll them out on a tennis ball. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. We move on to the fire element this week. It's all about the heart. So we'll be starting with the circulatory system. So I'll see you tomorrow for a little bit of that at 2 o'clock. Have a lovely afternoon. Thank you. If you have any comments.